Devil's on what? That's right, y'all. Today we are making devils on horseback. Now, why in the world are they called devils on horseback? Honestly, I got no idea. My best guess is probably because it's a whole lot easier to say devils on horseback than bacon wrapped dates stuffed with cheese covered in barbecue sauce and cooked on the grill. Although now that you mention it, bacon wrapped dates stuffed with cheese, brushed with barbecue sauce, cooked on the grill. That actually sounds pretty awesome. Let's dig into these babies. All right, the first thing you want to do is just take some slices out of whatever awesome cheese that you use. And you want to make these about the width of a standard wooden bamboo skewer. There's no reason for that other than that's about the size that fits best inside of one of these dates. And you take your date, and so it looks like if we're going to get a slice of this cheese to fit easily inside, we're going to want it to be a little less than half of its current length. So I will cut off the ends for snacking. Then we're just going to make some skewer wide slices of this. These will fit nicely widthwise inside of our pitted dates. We're going to cut them in half, and so they will fit nicely lengthwise. We got 3 dozen dates out of this bag, so we're going to need 3 dozen of these. All right, the next step is to slice our bacon in half. Thirds I've found is a little bit too short, and full is a little bit too long. And for this job, you really want thinner bacon if you can get it. The thick stuff is delicious for eating with breakfast, but it's really hard to work with when you're wrapping it around something small like a date. So thinner bacon, cut it in half. If you want to make things easy for you when you're cutting bacon, you don't have to handle this package twice. Don't worry about opening the package. Just take a sharp knife, cut her right down the middle. Bacon packages typically have a nice tough backing that you won't cut through if you're careful. Make sure you get all the way through your bacon. And then you can just take these halves, pull them right out. Nice and easy. All right, take one of your dates. It's already pitted. It opens right up nice and easy. And hopefully, if you cut these the right size, one little slice will fit perfectly in there. Grab your bacon, wrap that bad boy. Wrap that bad boy. It's nice if the bacon goes around a couple of times like that. It makes life easier later. If you enjoy making things harder, both in your prep and later when you're trying to flip on the grill, you can go ahead and use toothpicks for this job. I prefer bamboo skewers because I will be able to fit several of these on one skewer and flip them much easier later. So I'll get the rest of these done and bring you back in a few minutes, show you one more wrap before I send you away. See there? That cheese is totally encapsulated. That's exactly what you want. You don't want it leaking out on the grill. You're going to have a greasy enough grilling experience just from the bacon. No sense adding extra flammable potential if you don't have to. All right, we got one little guy left here, and we got one little tiny piece of cheese. And you know what? We're out of bacon. So, what I'll do is, if that happens to you and you got one little nugget left at the end, just unroll a previous one and tuck him in there, and somebody's going to get a bonus. So we ended up with 34. All right. I'm going to rub these down on both sides, and then we'll head out to the grill. That right there is good stuff, y'all. All right, so you probably want to hear the Sarah Palin story, don't you? Well, stick around to the end, and I'll tell you after the credits roll. One other tip for you, actually two things. I did not soak my skewers, a couple reasons. One, I forgot. Two, I'm starting these on indirect side anyways, so there's not really much danger there with the skewers flaring up. Thirdly, by the time I got to the end to do the direct grilling, the skewers would be dried out anyways, even if I had soaked them. So by the time they go on to the hot flames, potentially at the end, one way or the other, the skewers would have been dry, so it really doesn't matter. Another tip for you though, I let this bacon sit out for a couple hours before I rolled these. Two reasons for that. One, it makes them easier to work with when you're rolling. It makes them, especially with thin bacon that's been sitting out, really easy to wrap around those. Now it is going to be more slippery because it's going to be more oily, more greasy because it's room temperature. But that's a trade-off I'm willing to work with. If I need to change gloves halfway through and get some dry gloves on, or pat it with paper towels, you saw the paper towels, not a big deal. I'd rather have it that way to make them easier to work with, and secondly, to speed up the rendering on the grill, get as much fat out of them as possible early on so that there's less chance of flare-ups later down the road, and also just so they're less greasy at the end of the day, because they have cheese inside of them, and the dates are rich and the bacon is rich, so just trying to speed up that rendering process. All right, let's get these babies on the grill and get inside. It is a little windy and a little chilly today. I know I've said this before, but I just used my Grill Badger again to clean this baby up before I started putting these on. And I have to tell you, I still love my Grill Badger. I know you've heard me talk about it before, but if you are looking for an all-natural solution to the metal bristle brush dilemma that many guys have, check out the Grill Badger. They don't pay me to say that. They did send me a sample Grill Badger, actually two, and still on my first one. This bad boy is doing awesome, nice and seasoned up. These all natural bristles, there's no danger with them like there is the metal bristles. I am going to throw on some apple chunks, and I'm going to throw them on kind of heavy. I got smoked Gouda, smoked bacon, and we're going to use some apple there to get some real good flavor. Charcoal is rocking. We're wide open on both vents with our exit vent set right over the meat. We'll check in 30 minutes. Y'all, these are looking awesome. We're only 20 minutes in and these are this colored up already. Now, the very first photo you saw of these on the grill was at the 10-minute mark, and they already had some good color going. This is at the 20-minute mark, and interestingly, the ones furthest from the fire, even though they're down low, have the best color. But these babies are looking awesome. I'm going to sauce these tops, and then I'm going to flip them and sauce the other side. And maybe in about 10 minutes, I'll see if they need to be grilled or not on the direct side to get them crispy, or if they're already going to be crispy enough just like this. All right, y'all, it's been just about 30 minutes. The color on these is perfect. I did flip the middle ones that were the worst color last time and put them in the hot zone, and took the ones from the hot zone and put them in the middle. And with that sauce and that switch, everything has evened up perfectly. These babies are looking awesome. Let's crisp these babies up real quick. We're gonna do this real fast. I'm guessing 30 seconds. See if we can do 3 at a time and get them done in 2 batches. And see if I don't burn my gloves off trying to do this without tongs. They are smelling amazing, and look at that sizzle. All right, Let's flip them. Nice little char. Maybe only go 15 seconds on this side. Although that little char is going to be nice and crispy. We're not going to be eating these for a couple hours. So that'll keep them nice and crusty. Look at the sizzle on those babies. Tell me you don't want some of that. Look at that. If that ain't a beautiful video, I don't know what is. Devil's on horseback. Giddy up. Whoop-see-doo. Still didn't put a hole in my gloves. I'm gonna pull these bad boys and then we're gonna sauce them. So let me turn you. Just gonna give them one more quick glaze to finish them up. Just gonna glaze the tops. I don't want to soften them up too much, but I do want to give them a nice shine. You can see I only have a tiny bit of sauce there. I just want to give them enough just to make them glisten and to give that first pleasant hit on the taste buds when these babies go in. You want to talk about pig candy? I'm sure pork belly burnt ends are great. I've never tried them yet. But that's some pork candy right there, y'all. Now that's a picture. Let's go try one. All right, selfie time with no tripod. Sorry for shaking, this will be quick. Let me get one of these dark ones that looks the best. I don't know how the camera will focus, if it'll show you that or not, but hopefully the photos did justice. Let's try one of these babies out. One word. Candy. That was amazing. Tender. You got the smoke for sure off of that apple wood. You get both the rub from the John Henrys and also the Plowboys. To me, Plowboys tastes like a liquid barbecue rub. It's the only barbecue sauce I've had that is that distinctly rub-like. Like, it has the typical sweet barbecue sauce flavor, but it's very complex. Somehow they're able to get you to taste the rub that's in the barbecue sauce. And it tastes like you're getting both a rub and a sauce experience at the same time with that Plowboys 180. It's really good stuff. So these taste very rubbed, very sauced, candied up at the end. The bacon's not super crispy, but again, I don't mind that sort of candied bacon texture without it actually crunching like a chip. You saw how dark I got these, and they're still not crunching like a chip. So if you want to crunch like a chip, you may have to turn them into charcoal. And I'm not down with charcoal bacon. But these were amazing. Some of these look awesome because that gooey cheese is just kind of starting to melt out of them. This was a great cook. I hope you try it. It's simple, it's easy, and it'll blow your friends away. Try it out. Let me know. Put some comments down below if you try it. Let me know how it went. Hey, I'm about to tell a Sarah Palin story, but before I do, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. If we get to 100,000 subscribers by June 15, 2020, we're giving away a free Lone Star GRILLZ 20x42 offset smoker with the off-road package, chrome wheels, bling. The thing is awesome. Check it out on their website and share the promo video. It's the main video if you go to my Texas 2.5 page. It is my banner main video, easy to find. Go share that on Facebook, on your personal page, on the barbecue groups. Get out on the internet forums for the barbecue groups and share it there. As this thing snowballs over the next year, we can get to 100,000 subs, and I would be pumped to give away that smoker right here on my channel. So, you know by my channel name that I am Alaskan. Even though I live in Minnesota now, I was born and raised in Alaska, and I'm very proud of my home state. Just as you guys who are Texans are very proud of your home state. So am I. Texas 2.5. Anyways, my first sort of professional job out of college was working at a Chamber of Commerce in Fairbanks, Alaska, back in 2006, 2007 time frame. And one of the perks of that job was getting to go to the state capitol each year on a fly-in trip to talk to our legislators about pro-business practices. So the year that I worked for the chamber and went on that trip, we got to go to the governor's mansion and have hors d'oeuvres with the governor and some of her staff. And this was one of the dishes that her chef made for us. And it was sort of a light, non-formal occasion. You know, we're just sort of walking around the first floor of the governor's mansion, various rooms, hanging out, talking, and eating hors d'oeuvres. And this is the only one that I remember. This is the first time I'd ever had bacon wrapped dates. And I think they stuffed them with blue cheese, which is also awesome. I just was in the mood today I was actually in the mood for Asiago, but Costco totally let me down. Then my local grocery store let me down. Couldn't find Asiago anywhere. So I went with the smoked Gouda. Anyways, I think at the governor's mansion they had the blue cheese stuffed ones. And again, I like blue cheese. You either love it or hate it. If you're a person who loves it, you can try these with blue cheese. It's a little more difficult to work with when you're stuffing the dates. That's why I use harder cheeses most of the time. But it's still delicious if you're willing to do it. Anyhow, I hung around and waited my turn and got to talk to Sarah Palin and meet her, and that was cool. But the thing I remember most about that night, I've always been a foodie, was these bacon wrapped dates, and they were awesome. I don't know if they brushed them with a finishing sauce, but you finish them how you like them. You can do these in the oven. I think when we did them in the oven, we did them at least 400 degrees. You can play with that, experiment with it. If you go up higher than 400, you should definitely keep an eye on them. You might smoke yourself out of the house. But again, picked these up from dinner almost 15 years ago at the governor's mansion in Alaska. And I don't make them that often, but when we're in the mood for a killer appetizer, or we're going to somebody else's house and we want to really bring something that people are going to love and talk about and remember, this is one of my go-tos for that. So Devil's on Horseback. Somebody was trying to be creative with that name. It wasn't me. But bacon wrapped dates. They're delicious. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll try them. And I hope you'll remember the story too. We'll see you next time on Texas 2.5. Devil's on Horseback with Sarah Palin. They didn't turn out half bad. I sort of enjoyed that cook. Yum yum.